What's going on, guys? It's Brad with Trading OTCs. Thanks for joining me tonight. I got a good topic for you tonight that a lot of people have been asking me directly through direct messaging within our chat group, or just even out in the open within our Discord. So one thing that I'd like to address, hold on, I had to turn my mic down. It was like super loud. So anyway, I just want to thank you for joining my channel tonight. If you're visiting for the first time, welcome. I hope that I earn a subscription from you and a like on this video as well. I think it's a topic that gets asked all the time, but it's never really actually been addressed. And that is, how much should you start when you start investing? And the question, it's interesting. People come to me all the time and say, hey, I've got, $300 laying around. How should I use this to start investing? And the short answer is nothing, because you're not going to be able to do a whole lot with, that small amount of money. You're not going to set yourself up with the best possible outcome. Furthermore, I get people that come to me and say, hey, I basically used the money that I was going to spend, on my car this month to make the car payment. And now I've lost it all and I don't know what to do. And so the purpose of this video is to get you to understand that that's not how you start out trading. Okay. If trading is something that you're passionate about, and it's something that you really want to learn how to do, understand that this isn't something that is going to happen overnight. It's not a way to get rich quick, but it's a way to earn extra money on the side possibly without having to take as much time as maybe a part-time job would, or maybe 2 part-time jobs if you have a regular day job and you're just grinding like that. It all depends on your financial situation, but never, ever, ever, ever invest with money that you can't afford to lose. Okay. I don't want anybody using the money they should be spending on their rent in hopes that they can just make a few $1,000 so that they can, get by for the next month, because that will burn you every time. And the only reason I'm saying this, guys, is because I've heard it time and time again. And every day people ask me how much they should start investing with. And the magic number for me, especially when trading with OTCs, is anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000. That's the bare minimum, in my opinion, that you should start off with when trading anything, whether that's over-the-counter stocks, whether that's, if you're not familiar with my channel, I'm part of Techbuds-Solutions, and Ricky Gutierrez is another partner within Techbuds-Solutions. And so he trades based off of like 5 to 10% potential throughout the day. He's a day trader. And so like, even if you're trading like that on, if you're trading blue chips, if you're trading options, if you're trading, OTCs, whatever, $1,000 to $3,000 is a very comfortable amount of money to start off with. Obviously, the more you have, the higher potential you have to grow your account much larger, because the bigger the capital, the more potential for gains. But if all you have to start off with is $1,000 to $3,000, I think that is a very comfortable way to start. And in particular for over-the-counter stocks, I always like to preach diversity. My style, the way that I've been able to find success, again, this isn't financial advice. This is just me talking to you about what's worked for me, in hopes that maybe you will also be able to find that works for you. But say you have $3,000 to start off with, and I always preach diversity. And the best way to, sorry, there's a fire engine outside. The best way to, diversify that is to split it up in $500 positions. That way you have 6 positions that you're starting off with when you're starting off with a fresh account. And it gives you the best foot forward when trading over-the-counter stocks. And the other reason why I like to use that strategy is because OTC stocks are so volatile that trying to put all your eggs in one basket and hoping that that's going to work out is foolish, in my opinion. I know it sounds cliche. I know it's like, oh, okay, whatever. We've heard diversification for years and years and years. Okay, but that the reason you've heard it for that long is because it freaking works. So when you only have $300 to start off with, or $500 to start off with, and God's honest truth, people always come to me and say, "Hey, I have my last $50 or $100. What do I do with that?" I'm like, nothing. Keep saving. So that's what I want to leave you with. And the reason why I like diversification so much, especially down in over-the-counter stocks, is because of the volatility, and people don't realize just how much the volatility is down here. And it kind of gives you, when you take smaller positions, such as $500 positions with $3,000 as your total account balance, it gives you an idea of just how volatile it can be. And when you're taking that smaller position, you're minimizing risk. Because if you do experience a loss, it's not going to be as big of a loss when you're only using a $500 position versus throwing all of your $3,000 in there. So somebody within a group said, I would even go as far to say to get rid of your debts before taking up trading. And I couldn't agree with you more. I'm a big proponent of not being in debt, period. So that's a great suggestion as well. If you're looking to get into trading, make sure that you are completely debt free. I would not utilize. Now, I'm not saying that you can't, and I'm not saying that I haven't seen people do it, but I would not use trading as a way to try to get yourself out of debt. That is not a solution, in my opinion. This is just a way to earn supplemental income. A lot of people end up turning this into their full-time job because they get really good at it and are very passionate about it, such as myself and a lot of other people that I've come into contact with, including my mentor. Yeah, people are chiming in saying that they agree that it's not a good idea to be trading while in debt. So yeah, absolutely. When you owe somebody else money, in my opinion, when you start trading, you're basically gambling with their money. And I'm not saying that trading is necessarily exactly like gambling, but it doesn't matter what area in the market that you're trading in. There's always some sort of level of risk that you're using with that money. So, you have to have the mindset when you're using this money to trade with, that you're going to be okay and you're going to be able to still eat and live and pay your rent and everything if you lost all of that money that you were using to trade with. If tomorrow your account balance read zero, you would still be okay to pay all of your bills and everything else if that happened. And that's the kind of mentality you have to have going into trading, is that if you lose this money, everything else will be okay. It's not the end of the world if you lose this money. And that's the food for thought as far as that's concerned. Now, back to diversification. When it comes to over-the-counter stocks and when you're diversifying, the potential for loss is great, but the potential to gain is also great. Now, the level of risk down here is high, but the level of reward is always also higher. Just to put this in perspective for you, okay? If you are familiar with the platform Profitly, Tim Sykes has a platform. It's called Profitly. People go on there. They can pay to use this site, and it's basically like a leaderboard for traders. They can submit all of their trades. It's actually linked to their trading accounts, and you can see on there how many people are trading throughout the day or submit all their trades and how well they are doing. And I can tell you that the best OTC stock trader that's out there on Profitly, his success rate is 49%. Now, just think about that. 49%. Now, I know that you're probably thinking, Elefand, oh my God, how is that possible? And mind you, his success rate is 49%, and overall, not just with OTCs, but overall, he's consistently within the top 15 to 20. And all of Profitly, which is, there's a ton of traders in there, legitimate, very good traders. And he's within the top 10, 20 consistently. And he's successful 49% of the time. How that happens is because he's diversified. He's diversified, and he cuts his losses to a minimum, because he's taking smaller positions, and we get in at the bottom of the stock. We get in the bottom price and ride that catalyst, just like the strategy that I've been preaching on about for the last 6 months, ever since I started this channel. And the best part about that is he's 49% successful, and he's still making $300,000 to $400,000 a year. So that's the power of over-the-counter stocks, especially when you're starting with a smaller account. You can grow your account much faster down here, in my opinion, by using the system that we use than in any other style of trading. And that, again, that's my opinion. Of course, I'm biased because I love trading over-the-counter stocks or whatever. But, you know, and also it's because I've seen it. You know, I saw a fellow that I personally know who started out with $950 almost exactly a year ago, and his account is at 70 grand. So it can be done, you know, as long as you follow the steps that we have going on and you're diversified and you're networking within our group. You know, it's possible to do that. 100% possible to do that. And so that's kind of my food for thought when it comes to how much you should have for trading over-the-counter stocks, and really honestly overall in any kind of trading. Having such a small amount to start off with trading only sets you up for failure. And I think the reason for that being is even if you're seeing consistent gains and you start off with $300, consistent gains of what, maybe 10, 20%, taking one position at a time, you're only going to see a few dollars a day. And I know that we always like to be satisfied with, you know, green is green and this, that, and the other. But if you're only seeing tiny gains like that, you know, it's really going to get to you for a while, and you're going to get frustrated because it's taken way too long. So if you start off with just a little bit more, you know, and you can save $1,000 to $3,000, not only just by your regular day job, but I'm sure that you have junk in your garage or something in your closet or your room or wherever that you haven't used in years that somebody else would be happy to take off your hands for a nominal fee. And you could have a yard sale or sell something on Craigslist or whatever, save yourself up $1,000 to $3,000, and boom, you're ready to go. You're ready to start trading, and you're setting yourself up for the best possible outcome from the get-go, instead of just sitting here piddling along with $300. Because I'm telling you, I promise you that it's going to take you forever. You're going to get frustrated, and then you're going to give up, and that's the worst possible outcome, because we don't want you to give up. We want to see you succeed, and that's the best way that you're going to be able to succeed. So I know I was ranting there for a good 15 minutes, but well, 13 minutes, whatever. But I just wanted you to be. I just wanted to be clear, because I get this question constantly, and nothing makes me more insane than somebody saying, I can't pay rent this week because I used it trading. I lost it all. So that's that. You know, if you're visiting for the first time, I always like to go in and answer some questions for folks. You know, at the end of my video, it's not going to probably go as long as it usually does, but at any rate, every time I go live, I always like to try to answer some basic questions that people might have, whether it pertains to this video or not. And I will go ahead and do that now, or just maybe comment on some of the stuff that's going on here. Oh, Ryan donated to my channel. Thanks, Ryan. I really appreciate that. I always like to shout those folks out. Doing that for me and my channel only provides me that much more support. And I thank you for that. I really can't thank you, and especially now that I'm quitting my job. So, you know, there's that. Appreciate it. So someone said, hey, Brad, I'm new and part of LPP. So if you're not familiar with LPP, that's Learn, Plan, Profit. It's part of Ricky's paid service. And they said already, but I'm trying to get more info on OTC, maybe more my pace. Yeah. So in my opinion, I think people always like to come to me and say, hey, you know, I would love to start trading OTCs when I have the money to do so. And I'm like, well, you know, or they'll say, you know, I've been trading this way. Once I get my account up so a certain dollar amount, then I'll start trading OTCs. I'm like, well, you know, OTCs is really the better way, in my opinion, to start out trading, because the potential to grow your account much quicker is greater down here because of the volatility and the type of gains that we see. You know, we're literally seeing hundreds to thousands of percents in gains on any given day. And, you know, you're not going to see that on big board stocks such as, NASDAQ, Dow, S&P, that sort of thing. So, I'm actually getting ready to start my own version of Learn, Plan, Profit lesson library. And so stay tuned for that, probably a month and a half or so out from being completed. And I will keep you updated on that as that develops. Very excited about that. I think it's going to be a nice structured way of being able to go over my strategies and maybe some lingo and charts and patterns that maybe you're not familiar with that you're used to seeing elsewhere. So I'm very excited for that. So good question or a good comment, I guess, so that I could have broadened that a little bit. All right. Someone said I have roughly 2,000, was planning on $200 positions. $200 positions. I mean, I guess that you could do that. That's probably the safest way to go. You might see some frustration as far as like growth is concerned. But you never know. I mean, that's 10 positions. So you could go for that for sure. It just might take you a little bit longer to grow, but if you're comfortable with that, and that's your risk tolerance, that you only want to risk $200 per position, by all means, like if that's what you're comfortable with, of course, move forward with that. But that I don't have any problem with. It's just that if you only had $200 and that's all you had to trade with, that's where the problem comes in. So, if you're only comfortable with taking $200 positions, by all means, go for it. So that's a very good setup, in my opinion. Someone addressed the debt issue again. I started with $200 on Robinhood. Now it's only down to 177. So full disclosure, I hate Robinhood. Robinhood sucks. Sorry to hear that you're down 33 bucks. But again, $200 is not enough to start off with trading if you are looking to do this and be very successful at it, in my opinion. Senior in high school, when I was thinking about selling all the stocks I own and start over with long-term blue chips. I mean, that's your opinion. If that's something that you want to go for it. I don't trade blue chips personally, but if that's something that you want to do, especially and I have nothing against that. Like if you're looking to do like a long-term investment sort of deal, I think blue chips are fine to go with, as long as you do your own due diligence and, have confidence in that company that you're investing in. I think it's great for, those longer term investments and, whatever your time horizon is, and your style of trading, but, I don't have anything against that. It's just, this is my style of trading. This channel is all about over the counter stocks. So, if that's what you're looking to do, then go for it. Somebody said just need to stop putting money into pump and dumps. Yeah, I mean that we try to help prevent people from falling for those in our group. So if you're new to my channel, I already put the link to Discord in my channel and or in the description. So come check us out. We're a very tight-knit group, but we're always eager to bring in new folks and help them learn and help them be successful in trading over-the-counter stocks. So welcome aboard if you are new here, and I hope that you subscribe to this channel and look forward to more quality content from me. I'm getting better every time. I can't promise you how well you'll enjoy my earlier videos. It's been a long road, but you know what? I've been improving every time, and that's all I can. That's all I'm really striving for, is just to have a better video each time I come out. So, can you explain convertible debt? Convertible debt is essentially what dilution is. So, when you see a market maker diluting a stock and dumping shares into a stock, that's convertible debt. Companies use that convertible debt in order to fund their projects, operations, whatever. And so that convertible debt drives the price down, and then in turn gives you a smaller piece of that pie. So say, well, we'll just do it real easy. Say there's 4 shares in a company. Okay, 4 shares, and you have 1/4 of that. You have 1 share of those 4 shares. Well, then company says they need to go in debt to do this project or whatever, and so then they start dumping shares into the stock. So then it comes out to you, you know, that the company now has 20 shares. Well, now you only own 1/20th of the company, and so then the value shrinks. So that's, in a nutshell, essentially what convertible debt is. I will go ahead and make a more specific video on that. I do have a video, if you go further back, on dilution itself. But that in itself is what convertible debt is. It's when a company has to go in debt and uses the form of share dumping in order to do that. Because when the price comes down and demand starts to come up, people will start buying those shares because they're buying them on the cheap. And so that's the whole, I guess, theory behind convertible debt and how it works for companies. Sometimes it does not. And that's when you see companies, the price of a stock just keeps getting driven down all the way down to, 0001, sometimes even worse than that. So yeah, convertible debt is never a good thing. It's usually pretty toxic to a company, but sometimes it's what they feel they have to do in order to, I guess, complete the projects they're looking to complete or whatever. Yeah, BMIC is a market maker that is, dilutes stocks. I also have a market maker video. If you go back and check that out. Can't wait for your own version of LPP. Yeah, me either. I'm looking forward to it. Be happy to let you guys know the progress of that as it goes along. Again, I think it's going to be about a month and a half, probably. I'd say 6 weeks probably, and I'll have that going for you guys. I'm very excited for that. OTCs are the best fit for me. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, man. Love having you around. I know Conrad chimes in. He's one of our regulars. Subbed, I've been enjoying your content. You and Ricky are smashing a lot of misconceptions. So yeah, and that's great. So RJ just commented and said, you're smashing a lot of misconceptions I had about trading. I thought you had to be a super business genius. So I guess piggyback on that RJR, whatever that is. There's negative connotation with OTCs too, right? And I think the Wolf of Wall Street probably ruined a lot of that. Is there some shady companies out there? Of course there is. Okay, but the smart ones, the smarter ones, I shouldn't say smart, the more educated folks are able to spot those scammy companies that might put out some kind of fluff PR or whatever, because it's almost obvious. There's some pretty ridiculous PRs that come out, and you're just kind of like, come on, really? And people that aren't educated enough in this type of market will buy into something like that, believing that what the company's saying is 100% true, and it really isn't. And that's the pure definition of a pump and dump. They buy into something like that, and it gets manipulated. People pull the rug right out from underneath them, and that's how they get burned. And that's the narrative that I'm trying to change, is that there are good quality picks that you can make real money on. And if you just stick with us and stick with me until I get my lesson library out, I promise you that when it's all said and done, and if you can follow those steps, that you'll become a more successful trader in OTCs, and you will also see the potential that you can make down here, and that it's really a good way to trade, and it's not shady, it's not scammy. It's just finding those quality stocks and being able to make an excellent profit on. I've shown you guys time and time again how not just myself, but other people are making 5-figure trades and, with a very small amount that they initially bought in with. I just recently put out that one of the members within our group had turned $880 into $8,000. And this is real trades. This is happening regularly. So I'm glad for that comment. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Like your orange jumpsuit. Hey, this is my O's. Don't be knocking on my O's, man. I mean, yes, they suck right now, but hey, I'm a Marylander through and through. Where your LPP be free or not? Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, it's not going to be free. The reason why I left my job was so that I can, have a business and run a business, and mostly everything that we offer you guys is free. But this lesson library is going to be another source of income for me, so that I can continue to live. And continue to give you guys quality content on YouTube and hang out with you guys during the trading day. And so, yeah, the lesson library is going to be a paid service, but it's not going to be some astronomical out of reach number or anything like that. It'll be somewhere around what Ricky's is. And so, yeah, go Indians. Yeah, I can't hate on Indians. They're a decent team. Had been in this group for 3 weeks, a small account, and following your advice, I've already seen $100 gains at $200 entries. There you look. That's 100%. Or no, 50%. It's 50% gain. And that's fantastic. That's the kind of stuff we want to see. Can we pre-order? That's a good idea. I will have to get back with you on that. Have you experienced a run after tax season? Yes. Yeah. So I understand that there's been a lot of anxiety here the last week or two. The OTC has been a little slow, been pretty red here. We haven't seen a whole lot going on. We've seen some runs, but nothing crazy like we're used to seeing. And that's because a lot of people are selling some of their positions so they can pay their taxes. And so once tax season's over, people be buying more into stocks, and we should be seeing more runs. Characteristically, that's usually what happens. It starts to get busier again, and will remain busy probably until about June. Summer months are a little bit slower, but it's still obviously potential to make money everywhere. All right. Okay, guys, that's all I got for you. I actually ending right on time. I always like to keep these videos within a half hour or so. So I hope that, what I was, preaching to you guys tonight about that starting point, I hope that got through to you. I hope it made sense as to why I'm telling you that. It's not just because I think that you should start off with some unreachable number. I think that $1,000 to $3,000 is very reasonable. You just have to be diligent. And, if this is something that you truly want to do, I have 100% confidence in that you will have no problem saving that amount of money in order to trade with. So that is all I got for you guys tonight. I appreciate you tuning in. If you would not mind hitting that like button for me, I'd sure appreciate it. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do. I really would appreciate that as well. And I will see you all before the bell. And as always, B. Smith is out.